straight ahead on 12 News Weekend. What seemed like an unthinkable feat turns into a feel-good story seen in a national magazine. Plus, what the Brooklyn Park police chief called a very hard decision to make. We sit down with the chief as he prepares to leave for a new job. But first, a growing problem involving local teens.
There's too many homeless youth that can't get into shelter.
12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello everyone, I'm Shannon Slatton. It's an issue that knows no age. About 40% of the nation's homeless are under 18. It's also an issue impacting local schools. In the Osseo School District, officials have identified more than 500 homeless teens. And in the Anoka-Hennepin School District, it's more than 700. As Sonia Goins reports, to begin addressing the problem, work is underway to develop something the Northwest suburbs currently doesn't have.
Keisha Haynes actually likes doing housework.
No, I don't mind anymore, because it's my own.
Having a place to call home is special to Keisha.
I've been here come December, a year and 6 months.
She spent most of her teenage years homeless. She's now making progress and has her own apartment in Brooklyn Park.
It feels good to turn that key.
But she will never forget what it's like to sleep in the streets.
It's not fun being homeless, you know what I mean? It's not fun being out there, you know what I'm saying? It's scary.
She says she didn't get along with her mother, so she left.
Getting put out in the middle of the night, trying to find somewhere to go, and somebody's trying to have sex with you and you don't feel like it.
Homeless teenagers don't hold up signs like adults, but they often suffer the same consequences.
Getting beat up after being drunk with people you call your friends.
And Keisha says it's much worse for homeless kids in the suburbs.
It's really hard, honestly, compared to the inner city. This is we're not trying to, but this is where more of the prostitution and stuff comes in play. Because my mom was in the city, I was out here.
Keisha says there weren't many resources in the suburbs to help her when she was living on the streets.
Because there's too many homeless youth that can't get into shelter. Either you got to call by 5 that day to get in that night.
Because they see these kids.
The city of Brooklyn Park is trying to change that. They want a teen homeless shelter with at least 6 beds.
But what we're going to really do is try to set the standard for other cities to kind of step up and do the same thing because, there's only so many we can help, but we're going to help as many as we can.
The teen homeless problem in the Northwest Metro is growing. The Osseo School District said in 2010, they had about 125 students who said they were homeless. Last year, they had over 500.
I try to keep these stacked in even rows.
The problem is so big that there's even a food shelf just for teens. Reverend Rachel Moray runs that program, and she's on board with the teen homeless shelter.
Within that first 48 hours, if you don't have some sort of intervention to get them out of that situation, they will be approached by somebody engaged in the teen sex trade.
Keisha says she doesn't want anyone else to go through what she's been through.
I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be different. I want to make a change. You know what I'm saying? I've been out there. You know what I'm saying? It could have been way worse, but it wasn't, and I thank God for that.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Keisha is now attending college and eventually wants to help other homeless youth. Meanwhile, homeless advocates haven't decided where they want to put the shelter. They plan to address the Brooklyn Park City Council in November. Brooklyn Park will soon be on the hunt for a new police chief. Chief Mike Davis announced his resignation this week. He's leaving to become the head of public safety at Northeastern University, a private school in Boston. As Mike Johnson reports, council members credit Davis with improving community policing and getting a handle on juvenile crime.
I'm Michael Davis.
When Mike Davis took the oath of office as police chief in 2008, Brooklyn Park had just gotten the results of a study that pointed to a problem with youth crime.
We understood there was a lot of youth-on-youth crime. And so as a result of that, the city council focused on youth and trying to find more productive things for them to do. And Mike Davis was right there.
Councilmember Mike Trepanier says Davis embraced the idea of community engagement, where officers reach out to neighborhoods and kids through efforts like the Zanewood Recreation Center.
The PERF report told us what we already knew, because I've been here for 18 years as a resident, is that kids not engaged will find things to engage themselves in. And so do we want to have a hand in guiding that, or do we not? And that was the fundamental question that we answered with an emphatic yes.
Since Davis took the job, the city has built a second police station in the middle of a problem area on Brooklyn Boulevard. His department also added 10% more officers who were told their job is more than ever about community building as well as enforcing the law.
It's the way in which patrol officers do the work. You know, they get out of their cars and interact with people.
The efforts seem to be paying off. Last year, crime dropped 20% from its level in 2007.
We're the 6th largest city in Minnesota, and we're going to be the 4th. So there's going to be crime. The deal is really how people feel in their home, and that's based on the efforts of the police and everybody.
Davis says leaving was as much a personal decision as it was professional.
It was a very hard decision because, as I said before, I believe I had the best job in the world because I had an opportunity as first a resident of this city to really influence and make changes for the better.
Davis will start the new job on November 1st. Brooklyn Park City Manager says he will consult with the council about a replacement process. Meanwhile, Brooklyn Park Police are closer to getting some additional space. An architectural firm has been hired to come up with a design to expand the city's police headquarters. The city says the expansion would cost about $9 million. A major part of the expansion would be adding a heated garage to protect police vehicles. A survey in Golden Valley finds most people believe the community is headed in the right direction. That survey also found taxes are an issue. 48% believe taxes in Golden Valley are high. That's something the mayor says will be looked at in upcoming budget sessions. The survey also found 39% believe they need more starter homes for young families, and 65% would support the idea of building a new community center, but 40% say they would be unwilling to raise taxes to pay for it. In our week in review, authorities say 2 shootings on back-to-back mornings in Brooklyn Center are unconnected. They both happened in the area of 694 and Shingle Creek Parkway. On Friday morning, one man was killed after a struggle with an officer. The struggle led to gunfire. Police had originally pulled the man over for an unspecified reason. That shooting happened just a few hundred feet from where a man was found dead from gunfire outside of a hotel. As we went to air, no arrests have been made in that case. A local bus company is scrambling to find more drivers before the start of school. First Student says it has less than a week to hire more than 100 drivers in the metro. The company says the improving economy is to blame for the shortage. During the recession, First Student says it hired a lot of laid-off workers. And the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency has begun testing the water quality of the Mississippi River. The agency will test fish in addition to the water as a part of a multi-year study. Any waterways that do not meet federal standards will go on the impaired waters list and be targeted for cleanup. Coming up on 12 News Weekend, a Brooklyn Park woman lost more than 100 pounds in a year. See what she did to lose it coming up. And then later in sports, the girls soccer team at Maple Grove takes aim at another conference championship. But first, it's your AccuWeather forecast, and get ready for the hot weather. A Brooklyn Park woman has accomplished what some may have thought was impossible. Dawn Bryant lost more than 100 pounds in a year, and she's been in the national spotlight because of it. We tagged along with Dawn at her gym to see how she did it.
Let's do it. Back straight, head up. Now throw it. There you go.
Every day, Dawn Bryant can see proof
Now push yourself.
that
Give it
she's
to me, let's
truly
go.
flipped her life
All the way.
around.
I was size 22 and I weighed 266 pounds.
This Brooklyn Park woman struggled with her weight most of her life.
When you're heavy, you don't necessarily put it out there that it bothers you, but it grates on you, and that's what it did for me for so many years.
But Dawn knew she had to make a change.
My health is not good. I'm going up 8 steps in my house, and I'm getting winded, and that's a little scary. And I'm afraid to get any blood work done at the doctor's office because I'm afraid of what it might say.
She credits her personal trainer, Jason Burgoon, with helping her make a life change.
He believed in me more than I believed in me, which is, I think, what I needed.
3.
Dawn started working out 6 days a week, accomplishing feats she didn't dream of before.
I love boxing. I love hitting things. That sounds violent, but actually it's really fun, and it's a great cardio workout.
Hold it. Don't let me push you down. 4.
Dawn logs her workout time as well as her eating habits, writing down every bite she eats.
For me, it couldn't be about a diet. It couldn't be about any fad plans. It couldn't even be actually about reaching a weight goal. My original goal when I walked in the door was to get healthy. And getting healthy to me meant new habits.
Dawn has been very open online about her weight loss, and it caught the attention of national media. She was featured in a bikini in People magazine.
You have to stop and think, like, is this really happening?
But it is, and Dawn continues to be inspired by what she's accomplished.
I was winded after 8 stairs, in my house a little more than a year ago, and on Sunday we calculated we ran almost 3,500 stairs in a morning, actually in an hour.
Push yourself. Good.
Besides People magazine, Dawn was also featured on Good Morning America. Coming up, a unique Mississippi River experience that puts you up close with nature. But first, Champlin Park's football team gets set for the season opener. That's all coming up in sports with Jason Malolo up next. We've been watching practices for a week, but Jason, it's getting real now.
Yeah, finally we get some games to talk about, not just predictions, and actually some
right.
highlights, so that's nice. The fall sports season kicked off last week for many of our local soccer teams hitting the field for their first games. The Park Center boys were at Fridley to start the season. Sam Moses takes the throw in here from Joe Dixon, turns and makes a beautiful crossing pass to Percy Callan for the header goal. Park Center goes up 3-0 at that point. In the second half, Alex Tao leads Moses up the right side. Moses turns on the speed to beat the defender, then tucks a low shot home for a 4-0 Park Center lead. The Pirates would continue to put pressure on, but have some tough luck. Samuel Ben's free kick off the crossbar goes to Alex Zelonsky, and he hits the crossbar too. Tigers goalkeeper Adolfo Lara comes up big, stopping the penalty kick here, and then getting some help from his defenders, but no matter. Park Center rolls to a 4-0 win. Maple Grove's boys getting their season started at Orono. First half, a corner kick for the Crimson. Garrick Maupin serves it up. Carson Thomas with the header goal, and it's 1-0 Maple Grove. And that's the final as MG wins its season opener. The Northwest Suburban Conference figures to be wide open for girls soccer this fall, and Maple Grove is aiming to be a top team again. The Crimson is young, but a lot of the girls do have varsity experience. Graduation claimed most of Maple Grove's top offensive players from last year's conference title team, so the Crimson will likely play a different style this season.
We know that with our abilities and that we're going to have to possess the ball a little bit more. We're going to have to take better chances. It's not going to be as run and gun as we were last year. But we feel that the strength of this team is to defend well and to hold on to the ball and find some good chances and put things away when we can.
This year we really have to focus on possession and working as a team to get the goal. We can't just let one person go out and try to get all the goals for us. But it's a lot more of a team dynamic all the way up and down the field.
Maple Grove played its first game Thursday, a 2-2 draw with Edina. Now to the other football, where Champlin Park has been a winning program for a long time. It's shaping up to be an interesting year for the Rebels, though, who will emphasize quality over quantity. Jay Wilcox reports.
The first question at Champlin Park football this fall is, where is everyone?
We had 44 seniors last year, and this year we're at about 18 seniors right now. And so it's a totally different makeup than any other year we've ever had here at Champlin Park.
The smaller numbers mean more players will be going both ways this fall for the Rebels, who typically haven't used a lot of players on both offense and defense. But they saw it coming and are prepared.
We've been working hard all summer. We changed our entire summer program to get us more in shape. And I think it's helped our team a lot in terms of, I think we'll be able to go both ways just fine.
Coach did a really good job of preparing because he looked down into this whole thing and he knew we were going to have a small senior group. And we know that now, so we're going to step it up.
When the numbers aren't there, you got to change things up a little bit. So I think we've done a great job of changing things up, and assistant coaches have done an excellent job working with the guys, and the guys have responded. They're working hard.
While they graduated many of their skill position players on offense, there is some size and experience up front. Left tackle Jason Anderson and center Kyle Setterloff lead the way on the O-line. Two-way threats to Treese Malsumo, a speedy defensive back and running back, and Big Matt Juno, a tight end and defensive end, will be counted on heavily. The guys see this as a group that's more than willing to get down to work to get better.
Effort. This year, that's our goal, just to put in maximum effort, because we might not have the talent that we've had in the last few years, but we definitely have the work effort.
It's good to see competition because we haven't really had that the past couple of years. We've sort of had our starters set in stone, but this year it's nice to have a little competition between us every day.
Don't hesitate, you just went. Nice job.
They've built up a good tradition at Champlin Park, and the 2013 Rebels are determined not to have a big drop-off.
Thanks, Jay. Champlin Park was 6-4 last season under Mike Corton, who begins his 11th year at the helm after winning 70% of his games in the first 10 seasons. 3 starters are back on offense and 4 on D. The Rebels are at Andover in the opener on Thursday night. The 11-team Northwest Suburban Conference is going to get even bigger when the North Suburban Conference dissolves at the end of this school year. Some of the North Suburban schools turned to the Minnesota State High School League for placement help, and here's what they came up with. Totino Grace, along with Irondale and Spring Lake Park, have been assigned to the Northwest Suburban starting next school year. Totino Grace joined the conference for football only last school year, and the rest of its teams will follow suit. Meanwhile, Fridley and Columbia Heights have been assigned to the Tri-Metro Conference. That's why you never put a number on a conference.
That's
Big
right.
10, Big 12, because then you never know what's going to happen.
And then you don't have a name.
Yeah, that's right. Then you got to change your name.
Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome.
Still ahead, a different way to experience nature along the river. We'll take you on a unique rafting adventure up next. And finally, a unique way to enjoy nature in the Twin Cities. The Three Rivers Park District offers a guided rafting adventure on the Mississippi River. Photojournalist Dustin Scholl went along for the ride.
Ready? Boat up. This is a 10-foot. It's a small raft. It holds 4 paddlers and 2 duffers. We enter from the river, so you're going to get wet from about the knees down. All right, go ahead and put the raft down.
But to truly appreciate the Mississippi, I think you got to get your feet wet. And being in there and on it and feeling it, I like that.
Okay, go ahead. I'm going to have everybody paddle forward.
They're floating down. They're going past one of the beautiful areas of this river, really natural area.
60% of all waterfowl use this area as a migration route.
And I really like listening to the people on the raft having that experience.
I see it too.
Are they osprey?
Yeah.
They're osprey?
They're seeing islands, they're seeing eagles, they're seeing herons, rock formations, all sorts of different things that they just don't see from shore, or a completely different perspective being on the Mississippi River, which for a lot of people is their bucket list.
It's one of the best jobs.
When it's flowing really fast, not like you think about in Colorado with whitewater rapids, but sometimes where you got to paddle and you have to paddle hard, and that's what you want. You want a little adventure.
Left side, I can use it a little bit more from you.
Our idea is when folks exit the river, they understand the Mississippi better. Its history, its personal history, and also its natural history.
You are grateful for every day you're allowed to come down here and play, because it's never the same. Good job, you guys. Nice.
River rafting is $45 for a full day, $30 for a half day. For more information, call the Coon Rapids Dam Regional Park at 763-694-7790. And I kind of agree with that leader. That has to be one of the best jobs out there every day, to be out on the river.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, this summer you couldn't
And
think
see
of a
all
better
the
way to
see all the
spend
eagles
day.
and everything.
Yeah,
That would be
it'd
great.
smooth.
That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Have a nice weekend, and we'll see you again Monday at 4.